Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the Mackay T Podcast. Here are your hosts, Ryan Mackay and T Davis.
This is the Mackay T Show. This is the Mackay T Show. We talk movies and TV shows, sports and world news, coasting like on a world cruise. Hosted by Brian Mackay and T Davis. Yeah, you can't tame us. We're going to the top, we're becoming famous.
What time is it?
It's time for the Mackay T Show.
What time is it?
I said it's time for the Mackay T Show.
Welcome back to the Mackay T Show podcast. Before we get started, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Teresa Weatherspoon for being one of the 12 inductees in the 2019 class of the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame. The class was announced this weekend at the men's Final Four. It includes names that T and I will both know. Some people, if you don't really follow basketball, you might not know some of them. But we got Vlade Divac, Jack Sigma.
He was a Laker for 2 seconds.
Yes, he was, but he's honestly at this point probably more well known for his Sacramento Kings stay.
I'm sure.
But Jack Sigma
Got dunked on by Tom Chambers, 2-hand flush. Oh, I'm sorry. That's not what he want to be remembered for.
Sidney Moncrief, Paul Westphal, Coach Bill Fitch, Bobby Jones of Philadelphia 76ers fame, Al Attles, Carl Braun, Chuck Cooper, the 1957 through 1959 Tennessee A&I men's team, and the Wayland Baptist Flying Queens women's basketball program. That is your 2019 class.
Let me tell you something right now.
Congratulations to Teaspoon, one of my former bosses and a good friend. Congratulations to her.
Yeah. At this point, I don't know how much weight I have in the Hall of Fame. It seems like everything going there. They just throw anything in there. Why are we throwing a whole team in there? What is happening?
They've been doing that a lot lately. I don't know what the whole reasoning for that is.
I don't know.
And I don't know oh, Lord, I almost said something. I don't even know what I'm about to say. I don't know the historical significance of either one of those teams. I'd have to do some research.
But, I know this. I know the NBA need to go ahead and get a Hall of Fame. I know that because when you say you're a Hall of Famer, it don't separate you when you actually been like at the top of your game in the highest league in the nation.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, in the world, I would say the NBA probably got the best basketball players. When you say Hall of Famer, we had this discussion. Shout out Larry. Both Larry and I thought that that was an NBA Hall of Fame for the longest.
Oh, I remember.
When people say NBA Hall of Fame, we was like, "Oh, wait, what? That ain't no." Oh, my bad. So now we need some separation of class. All things are not equal when they go in now. So when you Michael Jordan, Kareem, Magic, when you say NBA Hall of Famer, you should not be in the same thing as Jack Sigma and Vlade. Like Vlade, what did he win? Did he do anything? What has he done great?
He came along at the same time as Shaq. So.
What did he do that was great? Why is he in there?
Yeah,
okay, and that's why he shouldn't be in there with Michael Jordan. And that's all I need to say. And Kobe and whoever else. I don't know if Kobe made it yet or will make it or Shaq or whoever. We can start naming stuff for these people.
Well, like Shaq always, he brings up every time they talk about the Hall of Fame on his podcast. Shout out to the big podcast with Shaq. But he always talks about how Isaiah Thomas continually would always tell him that there's two wings, metaphorically, in the Naismith Hall of Fame. You got the Hall of Fame wing, and then you got that bad MFer wing. And you got your Michael Jordans, your Shaqs, your soon-to-be Kobe, your Isaiah Thomas, and Larry Bird, Magic Johnson. All of those are in that bad MFer wing. And yeah, and then you got these.
Yeah, whatever. NBA, y'all need to have your own wing called the NBA All Hall of Fame and stop talking about we throwing everybody in there. Half of these people, you got high school coaches, you got all kinds of people in there. I can't. We need to distinguish this a lot better.
Well, we had a very, 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 very good weekend of basketball.
It was entertaining.
the men's and the women really put on a show. All three games were excellent. I'll just run through a little bit of theirs real quick before we get to the men. Baylor managed to squeak by Oregon on Friday night. Very entertaining game. I thought Oregon just was Baylor's size was just too much for them. They wasn't making their shots like they had been all tournament, and that was kind of their downfall. But when you have Kalani Brown and Lauren Cox, 6'7" and 6'5", going for 21 and 22 points respectively,
that's PJ daughter.
Yes, Carolina. Yes, PJ daughter.
That PJ daughter.
Just way too much. Sabrina Ionescu led Oregon with 18 points, 6 assists, and also announced, I think the day after, that she will be returning for her senior season, even though she was projected to go number 1 in the WNBA draft.
Okay, time out. When did the women start, like, that this is a thing for women? Did I miss something?
This has happened the last couple of years. It really has. Because, honestly, the women's game, they're there, and you know this, they're in school so much that players are graduating early, and that's where...
That's what I'm saying. Is she finished?
Well, I don't know that. I don't know to just be her case, but I know some have graduated early and have just went ahead and moved on at their junior year or whatnot. Shout out to her. She had a nice little article. Anyone who gets a chance, go to the Players Tribune and read it. She did a nice little piece on announcing that she was coming back.
But girl, if you listen to me, I know you probably ain't listened to this in Oregon. But if you have graduated, now I don't know, this is go to the league. There's no reason to come back. The chances are you are not coming back. Like the Final Four, like we make it seem like it's easy and all, and you see Notre Dame, but it's so many things have to go your way for that to happen again. And so if it's like, I want to come back and try again, you got bigger chance of getting injured than anything that you don't want to happen, or devaluing your stock by not having a good season. So if you've graduated, go ahead and get that money.
In the late game Friday, we saw Notre Dame defeat UConn in a game that I believe made 98% of the country happy. As I know it made T happy, but I saw on Twitter that a lot of people were happy that UConn went down. And for a minute, I was thinking that UConn was about to get it. They had a 9-point lead with just under 2 minutes to go, and I thought this game fixing to be over with. Now I was in and out of sleep because it was a little late, and I had to get up next morning and do some things. So I was fighting sleep watching the game. It was, just right down to the wire. Notre Dame makes a huge run and just winds up overtaking them in very dramatic fashion, led by Jessica Shepard, 20 points, 13 rebounds, and 7 assists. Just one of, I think, 5 players in double figures from Notre Dame. Yeah, UConn ends their season 35-3. Notre Dame moved on. And in the championship game last night, this game, for 2 3/4 of the game, was Baylor's dominance. Baylor's just way too much, too big. Notre Dame struggled to keep up with them. But Notre Dame, I've seen them do this a couple times this season where they almost seem like at some point in the game you're going to say to yourself, wow, they haven't made a shot in a long time. And all of a sudden they hit a shot that keeps them in it. And they did this against Baylor. And about a minute left in the third quarter, Lauren Cox, one of Baylor's 2 big players, goes down with a knee injury.
That's the kid that got hurt.
Yes. And when she went down, that game completely flipped. And Notre Dame makes this huge run. And I kept screaming at the TV. I was texting with someone, texting with Sarah Carter. You know Sarah. She was texting me about the game. I texted her and I said, Baylor needs to calm down, walk this ball up the floor, give that thing to Kalani Brown, and get out the way, because she was unstoppable last night when they got her the ball. And literally, like the play after the very next play, they came down, they threw it into her. She made a beautiful spin move and just laid it in. Notre Dame made a huge run, and I thought honestly they were fixing to win the game. But the story of the last year was Enrique Gumbawale making the shot against in the Final Four last year, and then in the championship game, the big shot against State. Back-to-back nights. She came up a little bit short this year. Was at the free throw line with a chance to take the lead. Missed the front end. With a chance to tie the game. Missed the front end. Tried to miss the second one, and actually it went in. You could tell she tried to miss it because the ball bounced back to her after it went through the net, and she kind of slammed it down in disgust with just a couple seconds left. Then basically Baylor just ran the timeout. So Baylor took that one 82-81, but 3 excellent games. The women really put on a show.
I want to go back to something that I feel like we've talked about in the past: practice players, men practice players. So as I look at these stats from the last for Oregon, and most of the starters are playing heavy minutes.
Yeah,
you can't expect them to play all of these minutes and be fresh enough mentally and physically to finish strong. Like Arike, or what's that how you say her name? Erica, whatever.
Arike Agumbawale.
Okay, she had 40 minutes. Shepard had 40 minutes. Young, 38, 36. Baylor, the same thing. Jackson, 40. Landrum, 40. Brown, 37. Like, you are at schools where your second string should be good enough to like compete and give you more time off the bench. Looking back at all these games, most of these kids are playing 39, 36, 40. I mean, I was surprised looking at UConn. They didn't even. Let me go back to this game. The UConn Notre Dame game, they only played 6 players.
Yeah, I mean, the most Oregon played 8 against Baylor, and everybody else either played 6 or 7 in all 3 games. And not very many minutes.
Right, they ain't playing a lot of minutes when we saying that. Like, 3, I don't even count that. When you play 3 and 4 minutes, you didn't play.
Yeah.
Oregon had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people play. And that looked like somebody might have got in foul trouble or something. And that's why the kid got 18 minutes. The rest of them, 39 minutes, 40 minutes, 36 minutes, 38 minutes. When you have practice players, and I could be wrong, but I doubt it. That's in my Charles Barkley line. You got practice players. You are not giving your bench players any playing time, any kind of action. They're not probably getting a lot of action on the court. And now you over. Like, this is too many minutes to be playing in no short period of time. Usually you have some days and weeks, but this is like, that's a lot of minutes on your legs. I don't care how young you are. I think practice players may be running some schools may need that. Like, they not going to be able to recruit but a good 5 or 6 people, 7 at most. But when we talk about Baylor and Notre Dame and UConn and these other schools, I think your bench should be strong enough, or you should be trying to improve them instead of just getting some men to come that like to play intramurals or whatever and practice so that they can play against better competition. I don't know.
Yeah, in theory, you would think that their recruitment level is such that they could afford to have 5 come off the bench and give the starters a good run.
And what about player development? Like, ain't that part of the process? I am not being developed if I'm standing on the sideline watching the starters, and they be like, "T, go in," and I run one play, and then we move on to another drill. Like, I've seen it on even the lowest levels.
Yeah, I mean, eventually somebody's going to have to step in when your starting studs move on and graduate.
They either move on, or they tired, or they get injured, or whatever happens. And now they have no playing experience in practice or in the game. Because for some reason, somebody said, let's get guys to come in so we can have better competition in practice. Can you imagine that? That wasn't my experience. Like, we got to fight and try to take the starters' spots. The coach would be like, oh, flip. Like, you make several good plays, oh, flip and go to the white, which means that was the starting team. Like, you was fighting, like, you was out there fighting for, it wasn't no men practicing. No. We was out there fighting, trying to take the other people's starting spot. I mean, we're trying to get better, but you knew that if you played well and did, like, they'll be like, flip. Okay. I'm off of my horse now. My shoebox.
You ready to move on?
Congratulations, Bailey.
Yes, first championship since 2000. I think it's 7 years ago, so 2012. Yeah. Moving on from ladies' night, Virginia and Auburn, a game that is going to go down is finishing in questionable fashion. People are going to debate this for a while, but Virginia takes it 63-62. Ty Jerome for Virginia is who I was going to. 21 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists. Questionable whether or not he had a double dribble at the end of regular,
I saw that. He sure did. I saw that. Now I know what you're talking about. I remember that play, and I was like, didn't he just double dribble?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I saw that.
But now this game,
that just came to me what you were talking about.
Yeah,
and I saw it live. I didn't. The ref. I don't know that the ref said it. The commentator said anything. I don't think too many people noticed it, but I was like, wait a minute. He just touched the ball with 2 hands and then started dribbling again. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think it must have been a moment where it happened too fast, for people to realize it if you wasn't watching it on TV, and where they could slow it down 1,000 times. But you could see it in live, like you said, you could see it live.
Yeah. And I'm not paid to do that. Like, if that's your job, one of y'all supposed to be looking at him and him dribbling.
Right.
But we've seen them running travels in the NBA. That's another story. Let me think about 20 steps. We saw Kobe dribbling with one hand, pick it up, take it over to his other hand, in mid-stride and just keep dribbling. It was like, dude, that's so illegal. Why did we not see this? Why didn't nobody call it? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But like T let us in last week, she talked about how Auburn just seemed like they constantly were trying to lose a game. They finally caught up to them. They finally found a way to make it stick. Fouling a 3-point shooter.
The same thing they did in that first round game.
It's a rough way to go.
And then I was like, are you serious? So, yep, it finally bit them. I don't know that. I'm still not. I just don't think I would have called it. I would have let it go.
Yeah, that's definitely questionable.
I would let it go.
Yeah.
Because the kid, like I told you earlier, he didn't think he got fouled. His thought was, missed the shot, we lost the game. Like, at no point did he turn and look at the official and throw his hands up like, oh, he found me. He was just like, oh, I missed, we lost.
All right. And he didn't even know it.
So the question is, and we've all, and we, me, you, other people have had this conversation, do you just play solid defense because you remember they wasted 2 fouls.
Yes, they
were
did.
Up 3.
They had them fouls.
You just say play aggressive defense, fight over the screen. Don't even say nothing about fouling the shooter. Fight over the screen. Don't let them get a 3-point shot off.
Yeah, no threes. You constantly yelling, no threes.
Because at the touch and switch everything. Yep. They should have. Virginia could have lost. You remember when the kid dribbled off his foot?
Yes.
And then had to run back and get it, and it was going to wind up lunching something just long and probably not going to make it, but the kid grabbed him around the waist trying to foul. Like, that's not don't. So, it was I don't know. It was a lot. Auburn, I think Texas Tech going to win. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Let's moving right along to since that game ended in that fashion and Virginia was able to move on. I was sitting there just screaming, please whatever you do, let Michigan State win this next game, because if not, our championship game is going to be a defensive battle, and nobody wants to watch that on TV. And what happened?
These last games were that too.
This is very true, and that's what Virginia and Texas Tech give you. They give you some defensive battles that just go down, and it's going to be a knockdown, drag out, and yeah. Michigan State, when you're only scoring 51 points at this stage of the game, you're not going to win very many games.
I don't know, because you think that coach is so great. Okay, this is, 2000 was the last time he won? We're going to make that 19 years.
I was hoping, people, I was hoping T didn't see the stat that they put up there after the game where they said he was 2-6 in Final Four.
I don't know. You're not the only person. There are other people that have said the same thing. So I don't. It's not just you. It's a lot of people talking about, oh, how he great. Yeah. Mm-hmm. He looked up and beat my Gators 1 year.
Now the truth come out.
Ago.
Now we know. Now we know why.
18 years ago.
Yes. But no, Texas Tech moved on with the win. They're going to go against Virginia tonight, Monday night, as we're recording this.
Why is this 9:40? They don't want nobody to see it. Okay, 9:20. Same thing.
Yes.
Why is it so late?
9:20 on the East Coast. Yes. It's. I don't know. I don't know what they always put. They always put when the men play the last game. They always put them late in the evening for some reason.
So why the girls wasn't on CBS? I need CBS to make a deal to at least get the championship game for the women. They ain't had nothing else on because the men game was tonight. They could have played the girls game yesterday.
Well, the women have ESPN, and ESPN literally. I was going through box scores this morning, just trying to get some things together before we came on air. I couldn't even click on the names of the women in the box scores, but I can click on every single one of the men's names.
For the guys.
Yeah, so you're gonna have the games broadcast on your station, but your website can't even get profiles for the women's players. But no, tonight, as I say in jest about the defensive struggle that Virginia and Texas Tech is going to be in, for the purest of basketball minds, they'll enjoy it. It's going to be a good game because it's basketball, regardless of whether it's an offensive shootout or whatever. It's basketball. It's going to be a really good game, coached by two very good coaches. All the talk of Chris Beard going to LSU, I think, will probably shut up after this game, because if they win against Virginia, even if they don't win, Texas Tech better lock him up. If they don't, I'm feeling some type of way about how Texas Tech runs there.
Well, I mean, if the man want to leave, just like this, the kids y'all don't want in the, and I'm using y'all loosely, that y'all don't want in the transfer bowl. If he want to leave,
the transfer portal,
whatever. How about Stackhouse getting that Vanderbilt job?
We talked about this last week on the show. That he was a candidate, and he got it.
He got it.
Yes, congratulations to Jerry.
Interesting. Why don't we see more women that? I mean, I guess the WNBA isn't that old, but how many former WNBA players have become coaches? Teaspoon did it for a few seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Who else?
Spoon was a coach. Cynthia Cooper coached at a couple different shops.
Is she still coaching, or did she go on the town?
She's when she got let go at USC, she hasn't been back in the coaching. I don't really know what she's. I think she's running camps and clinics and things now. Cheryl was a coach for a little while, but
I remember that for 2 seconds.
And she's now basically just running clinics and things like that. Tina Thompson is now a coach at Virginia. This was her first year this year.
Oh, okay.
Let's see, I'm trying to think any
like Virginia Commonwealth?
No, University of Virginia.
That's the Commonwealth.
In Charlottesville.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you was asking VCU. No, it's actual.
No. I meant the Commonwealth, like Virginia, the whole state of the Commonwealth.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I in my mind I was thinking VCU is what you was asking. No.
Oh, no, not VCU. I'm sorry. Yeah, that is Virginia Commonwealth or something university.
Excuse my Mississippi ignorance. Excuse me. No.
I forgot about VCU being the Commonwealth, Virginia Commonwealth. I was just curious. I just don't know that
but it's not very many. Get to your point, it's not. It hasn't been very many of the big time names like that. So.
How about Avenatti saying that Duke Zion took money? Why is he always trying to stay in the media or something?
He trying to keep himself out of jail. Not to make light of that, but no, he's down. He's going down out everybody he can to get himself a lesser sentence.
Well, you know, my Nike got billions of dollars. They're just gonna keep it in court forever till you can't fight no more.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be in. He's in for a nice little battle.
Well, he look like he wanted to be up for it. If anybody,
yeah,
he is in for the drama.
Oh, speaking of craziness, the humans are at it again. Did you see the stories about the Avengers Endgame ticket sales? That people were literally selling them off market for thousands. I saw one ticket that was $9,500.
for the Avengers.
And people are buying them. I don't know if I'm more mad at the people for selling them for that price or the fact that people are buying them at that price.
You should be mad at people buying them at that price because whenever you watch it, it's going to be new.
Right. You
so
don't
you don't see it on the first night, the second night, the first weekend. Whenever you see it, stay off the internet. If you think you're going to get a spoiler or whatever,
right.
Stay off social media.
I know I don't live in a big area of the country, but my theater, by the week after the opening, there will be many openings for showings that will have plenty of seats available. And I'm fairly certain that next week people can get in and get it. But everybody wants to be the first to do this, first to do that. Y'all better calm down. Ugh.
Yeah, I don't have time for foolishness. But if you got money to blow like that, good luck.
I ain't gonna tell nobody what to do with that money. Shoot. Hey.
Good luck. Next time I know to go buy a bunch of tickets to sell them.
Yeah, right. That's what I should have done. Could have made me some money.
Get money back on top of money.
And then if anybody want to write an article about me, I would have let them go ahead. I'll provide the quotes. Hey, if there's people out there that want to buy them.
It's called supply and demand. There's a market.
Thank you. You got anything else you want to talk about today?
What do we think about all the gun violence and how America is not trying to do anything about it? If you recall, let's see. No, yeah, you should be old enough to remember. They had all kind of studies, and they ain't have studies because it wasn't enough video games out yet. But they used to talk about how, these video games are going to make violence, the more violent culture and all this other stuff. And if we look at all the violent movies you have, like John Wick and most of the Double O's and the Mission Impossible, like it's a lot of shooting. They rarely show the people dying. They just show all the shooting.
Right.
But sometimes they do have to, like they kill them. Do you think that's part of why we continue to see so much violence?
I think that, honestly, because I grew up playing games and watching those movies, and I've never once in my life ever thought about going out and doing what I would do on the game or see in the movie. And I'm trying to put it all on parent, but at some point you have to let your children understand that this is not a way of life. This is not the way you're supposed to go about life. This is a game. This is a movie. This is not the way you should go out. And, you don't have free range to go out there and just carjack and shoot up whoever just to take whatever, like they do in Grand Theft Auto in that fame. I mean, I'm trying not, because like I said, I'm trying not to put it all on a parent, but you got to sit your children down and let them know. You have to. What
if I don't have a one parent? They out working trying to make a living.
Trying
to put a roof over my head.
That's the part that get people in trouble because, and the other part of this, the NRA. What are they doing? What's
supply and demand? They don't care about how many people die.
And who?
They just want to sell their product.
And who right now that's over our country is really big with the NRA? That'd be our president.
They don't care either. They just want to keep worrying about too many people coming into the country.
Right. But no, they're a problem altogether. They're a whole separate issue,
But you look at people like New Zealand, they came right out and was like, okay, we're not about to have all this mass murder. They made a law, it was against automatic weapons or something like that. Right away after that. Which
shows you that that's easy to do. Our government makes it sound like it's so difficult to put a ban on things, to shut things down. New Zealand made it very easy. They went out and they said, no, we about to shut this down now.
And it's not like people are not going to do the same thing they did with prohibition and stuff and do underhand and do dirty deals.
Right.
But then should be a different consequence. Oh, so you had an automatic weapon. These are banned. This is a consequence if you get caught. But to continue to sell them after that massacre in well, it's been too many of them, but the one where that man just was shooting at them people at that concert in Las Vegas, like, really? Then you got these kids can't go to school safely. But when you know they don't care, when they shoot up 6 and 7 year olds at the little at the elementary school, what school was that? And nothing to change. I think we've become desensitized to killing, and I think that we don't value human life as much as we should as a society. And I'm using we loosely. Because I think that even when, and I'm black, so I'm just going to this, when police officers kill people, the question should, like, always, was it right or wrong? But nobody ever just was like, dude, you just took a life. Like, your first thought should not be lethal force. Like, that should not be your first thought, no matter who you are, police, gangbanger, whatever you're doing with your life.
Right.
That should not be your first thought. Let me take a life. So how can I de-escalate this situation? We would hope would be like the first thought, but it doesn't seem to be. We just really okay with killing people. It's unfortunate. America, you got to do better. But I don't know that you are going to do better.
And I mean, and you brought up a while ago, what about a single parent home? You know, how can they, talk to? You and I both know many people who grew up in single parent homes who know right from wrong when it comes to that kind of thing. I mean, because I'm just trying to make sure I'm not putting it all on a parent. I mean, the kids have to know right from wrong.
Yeah, but when you go, so this is the thing. When you think about how many. I don't know Eric Holder from a hole in the wall, and I'm not coming to his defense for shooting this guy. Mm-hmm. But think about probably how many people he's seen murdered, even as a child. Like, it's not like when we see people killed, like, it's rare that I've never had, even in high school, like, any of my friends murdered or anybody that I knew, cousins. Like, when these places like Chicago, Los Angeles, some of these places, like, that's just like, they worried about getting to 18. And when they say that, they not being, like, I'm seriously don't know that I'm going to live to be 18 because they see it so much and so often. Mm-hmm. And so then they come desensitized to it. So it's nothing for them to be like, oh, well, he disrespected me, I'm going to just kill him. Because that's the norm for it. Too many people in our population.
Yeah, especially in their segment of the world. Like you said, I'm like you. I've never had anyone, gunned down like that. So it's kind of hard for me to really see it for what it is.
Like watching. Go ahead.
Oh no, I'm just saying, like you said, like in Chicago and in the streets of Los Angeles, that's a common way of life, and they go about their way of life just to survive, like you were saying.
Have you seen? And you may not have Showtime. Chicago, The Chi. Let me call it. It's called The Chi.
I've seen previews of it. I've not actually seen the show.
So YouTube. Shout out YouTube. We on YouTube and other stuff. But they had like they give you 3, the first season, 3 episodes. I was mad because I was like, what the rest of them? But it was just a trick to get you into the show. I watched all 3 of them. And when you saw the way that these people are living and growing up and the stuff, that you just be like, yeah, that gave me a whole new perspective on living in that kind of environment. Where you worried about walking home from school or like people just coming up, shooting people. It's not a good environment, and I don't think we're doing enough as a society to change things.
No, because I think there's too many people that can change things that are in a situation like you or I where it's not happening in their world, so they don't care, and I'm talking about, the politicians and people, they have the power to make those kind of changes. I feel like
I think because you're not educating these people. Mm-hmm. Like, their facilities are atrocious. You treat them like criminals from the time they walk into the door through metal detectors and all this other stuff. You putting police officers in the school, which is not normal. That should never be normal. That you have to see police officers walking around your school. It wasn't normal for me. I never saw any police officers. If I did, we knew something bad had happened.
Yeah, I mean,
but I don't recall it happening.
There's what they call them, resource officers.
They're police officers.
Yeah, at every school down here where I live. Yeah, every one of them have.
And then you treat them, the resource officers, like they do stuff that kids do, fight and all that. But then you slapping handcuffs on them like they criminals. They got to get out in the world. Like the school, like they have really fairly few safe spaces. School should be one of them. But now school is not even a safe space.
Right.
Besides getting bullied and then dealing with the resource officers, like the officer that, I can't remember the place, but on video, you see a kid walk by him. Then all of a sudden, he just grabbed the kid and slammed into the wall and is choking him or whatever. He lied on the report, said the kid did something, pushed him or bumped into him or something. He didn't know that it was a camera in the hallway. And so when they pull up the video, it's like, dude, the kid, if he said something to you, he may have, but he didn't touch you. Like, he wasn't even close enough to you to touch you. I'm pretty sure he didn't lose his job. But nothing happens. The man that slammed the kid, the girl on her neck on the desk. You remember that several years back?
Yes.
Like, that shouldn't be your experience in school. At some point, she going to leave the desk. If she say she's not moving, okay, call the parent or whoever, but at some point, she going to have to get up to pee or something.
Right.
Keep holding class. Because it didn't seem like she was being, like, a disturbing class, just hollering out stuff and trying to be disruptive. She just was determined she wasn't moving that day. For whatever reason.
Right.
There's no need for you to make this even worse by slamming her on her neck in this desk and could have hurt her. Nothing happened to that person. So these environments that these kids, and this is stuff that we seeing, there's plenty that we don't see that's going on. And then you don't have, like, a lot of times the home ain't even safe because you're worrying about bullets coming through the wall. Like, that's a real thing. Every time I watch TV, somebody getting shot. Is an investigation on a shooting. And I think that's across the country.
Yeah, like, that's even happening down here.
On the news, today the police need your help.
Yeah. If you see the following, the below pictures, if you see any of these people, please.
Yeah, it's always like, you're like, really? So we starting to be desensitized to it, I guess, on some level. Because I'm just like, oh, that's the norm. Like, because it is pretty much. Anywhere you are, turn on the news. On vacation, put the news on and watch what happened. We looking for this somebody, or they talking about a past one where the guy or the girl or whoever is going to trial or whatever finally. Because, you know, a lot of times the cases get lost. And you just be like, whatever happened to such and such. But anyway, we got to do better. Watching The Shy and this whole Nipsey Russell thing, it just brought it back around to my memory, to the forefront of how we just have pretty much not value human life.
Nipsey Hussle, by the way, shout out to Nipsey Russell, but
Hussle. Did I even say his name?
You said Russell.
Oh, Nipsey Hussle. My bad.
It's okay. You
no disrespect.
No.
His government name, I don't even know how to pronounce it, but yeah, I don't know. At some point, you don't need guns, people. You don't need automatic. If it's one thing to have a rifle or something because you're a hunter, what are you shooting with an AK-47 or AR-15 or whatever?
Those type of weapons no one should ever have unless you are fighting in a war.
Like, you don't need them. And you got people like, and I don't even watch The View. Sometimes I'll catch a clip. What's the senator's daughter?
McCain.
I think it was around the time Las Vegas happened, or maybe one of the high schools happened, and it came back up. And she's like, I own a gun, and she own an automatic weapon and a rifle, whatever, and nobody's gonna take it. Like, dude, like, what's the bigger picture? Why do you think you need a gun? What kind of life you live in, McCain, that you need a weapon?
Yeah,
you don't need it. You want it. You don't need it.
Yeah, there's no.
You're not out shooting up there with no automatic weapon.
You can have your little noisy cricket off of not Mission Impossible. Men in Black. Get you a little bitty cricket, and that'll be suffice. Trust and believe. But I have relatives that have literally gun cases of and they hunt, and so a lot of it is used for hunting. What the hell, just guns? Where I think, what do you need that for? Why? What's the point?
What's the name of that movie? Shoot. Where the Asians come and try to take over that one part of the Red Dawn.
Yes.
That Red Dawn is not happening.
No, not at all.
Red Dawn is not happening. And you don't have to worry about some country just coming over here and taking over a portion, like some states or something. Not happening.
No, I think we're fairly safe from that at this point.
And preferably there will be no more civil wars with nobody fighting over people being slaves or whatever it is the new thing would be. So we hope there will be no more civil wars. So what do you need that kind of weaponry for?
I just can't see any reason for it.
If you want a couple of guns because you like them, you still don't need automatic weapons. So if you like rifles and all that, whatever. But anyway, that was just something that I had thought about when the Nipsey case happened.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wonder how right they were about video games and these movies and all the violence that we have indoctrinated ourselves to be okay with.
No, yeah, and I think, like I said, I keep saying that's part of it, but I think that, and I started out by saying that parent, but honestly, there's no real talk that you have to have. Just, make them understand that what they're playing is not real life. Don't expect to go out and do what you see on those games and what you see.
But you can't. But Brian, when you talking to children, they hear that. But some of that is just.
It's just something that you
have to grow into. Like, you can say it as much as you want, but
it's something that it's a gradual. It's a gradual. Right. It's something that keeps growing. It's not something that you can just say and expect them to understand. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying something.
Which the game, you're not supposed to be playing until you're 16 or how old you can buy them. So that's the thing. Like you said, like if your 10-year-old is playing these, we gotta reassess that. Because 10-year-old mind may not be able to distinguish. Yeah, they know life and death, but it's still developing. And there's a reason that they have the age limits on the game.
No, this is true.
Okay, one gotta go.
One gotta go. What you got?
This one probably too easy. Nike, Adidas, Reebok, Under Armour.
Reebok.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Because here's why. I'm not getting rid of Nike because I love Nike.
Uh-huh.
If I get rid of Adidas, then all the Beyonce fans are going to come for me.
Well, that just happened, so it wouldn't even be a thing because she just got that deal.
And Under Armour, I don't know. Reebok to me, honestly, Shaq tried to make them something, but Reebok has never been big to me. It's always been like, oh yeah, that's them shoes over there, basically.
So I didn't want to get I like Nike as well, but I didn't want to get away with Adidas because I was like, well, what about Run DMC? Did we not get my Adidas and all that? And do we not get the fat laces when Adidas was hot?
Oh yeah.
With the fat laces, do we lose all that? And I don't want to lose all that. I almost put Converse in there, but then I was like, Reebok still would have won if I had thrown Converse in, even though Nike has bought Converse. Spoiler alert for those who don't know, they made by Nike now.
Oh goodness, yeah, that was a good one.
So you can't think of now? I know you be forgetting.
I really don't. I was trying to think of one over the weekend.
Which car gotta go?
Ooh, let's do cars. Okay, let's do cars. Chevy, Ford, Honda. What's some more car brands?
Toyota. So
yeah, let's see. Toyota, Honda, Chevy, Ford. Okay, them four.
Honda gotta stay. I think Toyota make good cars as well.
Now, two of those are foreign. Two of those are American. So I'm thinking.
All that.
I'm probably gonna make my brother mad, but I'm getting rid of Ford.
Oh no, you getting rid of F-150?
Yes, he's got an F-150 that he loves. And because I can't get rid of Chevy because all my cars I've ever owned have been Chevy.
Who makes Impala? Chevy.
Chevy. Yeah.
A lot of police cars and stuff will be out, and drug. I shouldn't say that, but a lot of the movies they had them Impalas and the drug dealers be driving and stuff.
Yes.
I just want to keep Honda. Because I still want my Honda Element.
I apologize, people. I will do better next week. I'm gonna have some better ones for us. One gotta go.
Yeah, because the guys that they did chicken, and I want yours because I don't eat it, but they did chicken breast, wings, thigh, or drumstick. One gotta go.
Oh, breast, wings, thighs.
Oh my!
Because here's why. Because I don't. When I'm in a box of chicken, that's the one I leave alone. I'll try.
Why don't you like the thigh? Why are you discriminating against the thigh?
I don't know. I guess because I don't know. I guess it just maybe just the wings. The chicken legs have always been one because you grab your drumstick, just eat off of the breast. You're gonna get all the meat, big chunk of meat. Wings are just popular for just like game day eating and things like that. And thighs, just to me, has always been like, yeah, it's got some meat on it, but it really ain't.
Why you don't like the dark meat, Brian? What's wrong with the dark meat?
You see, you trying to make this colorful. No.
What's wrong with the dark meat?
It's just always been that part of the when you look in the box, like it just really don't. Yeah, it's got some meat on it, but no.
It's got more meat than the drumstick, don't it?
Yeah, but the drumstick's easy to handle. You just grab the little bottom, just
you think about the kids for the children.
And I'm sitting here at 8:20 in the morning with my stomach growling, talking about some chicken.
Yeah, I think the one guy got rid of drumstick because he said he didn't like the grip, the ligament stuff. Like when you that is too, but that's I agree with him on that. He said that's the reason that he would get rid of that one because he didn't like that part of it.
That can be annoying. Yes.
Yeah, I don't eat it, so it don't matter. But yeah.
Thank God for chicken. Didn't have to do it, but it did.
Father God, Lord Jesus, the creator of heaven and of earth, we come before you right now. Somebody call you a burden bearer. Somebody call you a heavy load carrier. Somebody call you a wheel in the middle of a wheel. I like to call you the creator of all things right now. Again, I love that part of that. Which one is that?
Oh, I Can Do Bad All By Myself, isn't it? Is it that one or is it Family?
I Can Do Bad By Myself.
By myself, yes.
No. It's the one that she getting a divorce. He treating her bad.
Yes, I don't remember which one that is. Oh gosh, that play is hilarious.
He put a leaf on a limb. Okay.
He went all the way through the plane, boy. I believe I can fly.
Yeah.
Grab a skillet and put the fire.
Yes. Thank God for chicken.
Oh my God.
He didn't have to do it, but he did. Gave him two legs.
Two breakfasts.
Hot sauce on it. I believe I can hear my grandmama. I don't forget who. Did he say his grandmama said?
I don't even remember.
I believe I can fry. That's when I believe I can fry.
That's when he ended it with that. Cause they cut him off after that.
Yeah, gave him two legs. Hot sauce on it. Okay, that's enough. We gotta stop.
For everyone that's still listening, thank you. And as always, I'm one of your hosts, Brian Mackay, and I am with
T. The Lord is my shepherd; I shall not want. Davis.
Amen. And this has been the Mac and T Show podcast. Thank you for listening.
You gave him two legs, two wings.
You can listen to the Mac and T Show podcast at Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music, Spotify, and TuneIn. Also, be sure to check out our YouTube channel. Please be sure to follow our show on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at the Mac T Show. That's at TheMacTShow. SHOW at the Mack T Show on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter to get all the updates and different things that might be happening with our podcast. You can email the show at the Mac, letter N, T Show at gmail.com. That's the Mac, the letter N, T Show at gmail.com.
This is the Mack and T Show. This is the Mack and T Show. We talk movies and TV shows, sports and world news, coasting like on a world cruise. Hosted by Mackay T Davis. Yeah. You can't tame us. We're going to the top, we're becoming famous.
What time is it?
It's time for the Mack and T Show.
What time is it?
I said it's time for the Mack and T Show.